allow your eyes to close if they haven't already. Settle in. As you arrive here, just notice how you're feeling, how your body feels, how you feel emotionally. However that is, be willing to meet yourself there, to accept what you find, to give yourself what you need. Allow yourself to really ground down through your sit bones and also lengthen upward through your spine. Every time you inhale, try to sit a little bit taller. Create a little more space between every single one of your vertebrae. Then all together, we'll take a full breath in. Open your mouth, full breath out. We're gonna do 2 more like that. Don't be afraid to make a sound. Inhale. Exhale, sigh. One more time, inhale. Exhale, release. Pick up your shoulders by your ears, and then roll them down your back. Again, like that, pick up your shoulders, press them down. One more time, lift your shoulders up by your ears, really squeeze, 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 squeeze. Then release, roll down. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Then as you exhale, we'll find a twist towards the right side, any amount. You can start to bring your back hand down or it can stay lifted, whatever feels better. Start to inhale to come back to center, reach your arms. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale to come back to center. Then exhale, fold forward any amount. If you're sitting cross-legged, you'll get a nice stretch in whichever leg is in front. If you're on your knees, you might find a little child's pose. Start to walk your hands back in. Switch out your legs if you're cross-legged. Then one more time, inhale, reach your arms. Exhale to twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale left. Inhale to center. And exhale to fold forward over your front leg or over both your knees. Just breathe into whichever hip is in front. Start to walk your hands back in. We'll find a tabletop position from here. So if you're cross-legged, you can roll over your knees or just find that however feels right for you. So you want your hands to be right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips. Then inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze for cow pose. Exhale, start to pull your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch through your spine. Inhale, drop your belly. Start to look up. Take these nice and slow as we're starting. Pull chin to chest, round through your spine. Take a couple more rounds, follow your own breath. And as you start to warm up through your spine, you can start to move a little bit faster if that serves you. Maybe really exaggerate, make this really dramatic. As you come to cat pose, you can tense up onto your fingers. Then if you want to add in any other movements, you can wiggle side to side. Maybe pat out the tops of your feet. And eventually, start to make your way back towards your neutral tabletop. Send your right leg long behind you. toes down to start, and then just rock a little bit forward and back and really press into your big toe so that you're getting a stretch through your right calf. And start to come back towards neutral. We'll float the right leg up off the mat, flex your feet straight down, keep both of your hips square down towards the earth. You can stay here, or you can start to add your left arm, bicep by your ear, spread your fingers nice and wide, then press into your right hand, every single finger. Exhale, crunch, pull your elbow towards your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. One more time. Exhale, crunch and hold. Pull your belly up and in. Round through your spine like you're in cat. Inhale, send it long. Set your left hand down if you lifted it. Then we'll start to open up towards the right side. Your right arm will lift. Ooh, and you might fall over, and that's okay. You can stay right here, or you can bring the inside of your right foot all the way down, or you can bend your right knee, take your hand to the top of your foot for a quad stretch. If you have that, really kick hard into your hand. If you have your foot, gently start to release it. And we'll set the inside of your foot down. Keep your right knee bent, and we're gonna rise all the way up into gate pose, but with a bent knee. So your arms will be teed out in both directions. And then we'll bring your right elbow to your right thigh. Reach up and over with your left arm. Really breathe into the left side body. Cinch together in the right side body. Take one more breath in, reach a tiny bit further. Then exhale, tick-tock all the way down. And we'll start to square back off into a tabletop position. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round through your spine. Start to come back to neutral. Send your left leg long behind you. And we'll just start to rock a little bit forward and back. And eventually left leg straight up, flex your toes down. And then option, just an option, to add your right arm out in front of you. Spread your fingers wide, press into that left hand, then exhale, pull elbow to knee. Maybe you connect to your elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round, hold. And start to send it long. Set your right hand down, open up towards the left for your modified side plank. So when you get here, you can either stay, bring the inside of your foot all the way down, or bend your knee, take your hand to the top of your foot for your quad stretch. Wherever you are, try to peel that left hip back a little bit more. If you have your foot, start to release it. Bring the inside of your foot down, bend into your left knee, rise all the way up, gate pose. Inhale here, then exhale, reach up and back, reverse. Breathe into the whole front side of the body, really expand. One more inhale. Exhale, windmill your hands all the way down, square it off, then drop your knee, tabletop position. One round, cat and cow. And then eventually, when you feel good, start to bring your spine back to neutral. Pull your ribs together. Curl your toes under. Then, exhale, lift your knees. Find a little turbo dog. We'll hold here for a couple breaths, or if you want to work a little harder and find a little movement, you can start to bring your right elbow to your right, or your right knee to your right elbow, and then do the left side. So whether you're holding in stillness or you're finding movement, you're building strength. And you're also building mental strength, reminding yourself that your mind can be just as strong as your body, maybe even stronger. If you're finding the movement, even out, then hold. Breathe into your shoulders, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you find down dog, pedal out your feet, bend your knees, and again, check in with yourself, with your body, and just notice. This is your home base for your practice. So it's a great time for you to kind of just notice what's going on physically. where you're holding tension, where you're feeling tight. If you're feeling any discomfort in your wrists, press harder into your index finger and that index knuckle, and that will shift your weight into the stronger part of your forearm and out of your wrist. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Start to take tiny little steps, the tiniest steps you can take all the way into a forward fold, and keep pressing into your hands until you can't press into them anymore. And once you find your forward fold, allow your knees to have soft bends. You might grab opposite elbows, hang heavy. Stay for as long as you need. When you're ready, release your grip if you have one. Tuck your chin and slowly rise all the way up to stand. When you get there, pick up your shoulders by your ears, roll them down your spine. Then inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Lift all 10 of your toes and then see if you can set them down one toe at a time. And notice how that really engages your quads. Allow your eyes to close. In this moment, you might set an intention for your movement today, some feeling that you're trying to cultivate, something you're working towards, maybe just positive vibes. And together, we'll take a full breath in and a full breath out. Reach your arms overhead, then bring your hands together over your head and start to drop them back behind your shoulders so that you're getting a big stretch through your triceps. Open through your chest a little bit more. Inhale. And as you exhale, dive forward, release your hands, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, plant your hands, step back. We'll find your first plank position. So you can always drop your knees down to the mat in your plank, or you keep your knees lifted. Either way, you want your body to be in one strong line, micro bends in your elbows. Nice and slow, lower all the way down onto your belly. When you get there, take your fingertips out wide off your mat, tent up onto them, then inhale, start to lift your chest for a wide cobra. Exhale, roll it back down. Your head is the last thing to lower. Then inhale, rise right back up. Exhale, roll forward. One more time like that. Inhale, roll up. Slowly lower down. Then, just to build a little bit of heat in the shoulders, bring your forehead all the way down to the mat. See if you can start to get lighter in your fingers until they lift up off the mat and you're in this sort of cactus arm situation. You can stay here, or you can start to extend your arms behind you, keep your forehead down, keep breathing. Start to sweep your arms back forward till they come down to the mat. This time we'll slide them right underneath your shoulders. Then inhale, one more time, we'll peel our chest forward, but baby cobra this time. Gently release, press back through child's pose, and then find downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, maybe a little bigger steps this time, feet to hands. When you get there, inhale, halfway lift, long in your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Rise all the way up, reach high. Exhale, forward fold, right back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot to the back of your mat and step your left foot to meet it. Drop your knees if you want to. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press into your hands a little harder this time. Straighten your arms a little bit more. Curl your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step forward, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, rise all the way up to stand, reach high. Exhale, right back down, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hand, step your left foot back first this time, then step your right foot to meet it. Exhale, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, open through your heart. You can find upward dog, which is where you'll press into the tops of your feet, right where your foot meets your toes. Or you can find cobra and lower the fronts of your legs. Downward facing dog. One more round like that. Rise onto your toes. Bend your knees. Look forward. Hop or step. Feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach high. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, step back, or you hop back. And if you hop back, you hop straight to your low push-up, your chaturanga. Exhale to lower. Inhale to open through your heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, and then you can hop or you can step, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold this time. You can bring your toes to touch, then sink your hips, reach your arms, find a chair pose. So in your chair, your hands can be at your heart if that feels better for your shoulders. You even can take your hands to your hips and tuck them under your body. Then see if you can sink 1 inch lower. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands and step your right foot to the back of your mat. Drop your knee. Lift your arms, find a low lunge. Hands can be at your hips or they can rest on your top thigh. You want to have both knees bent pretty much to 90 degrees here so that you are getting a stretch in your right hip flexor. And the more you lean back, the more you're going to get that stretch in your hip flexor. If you want it, option to add a little back bend here. You can start to cactus your arms. Maybe bring your hands to your hips for support. Press forward. And start to rise back up. Exhale, hands down to your mat. And walk your hands back for a half split. So you want to feel like your knee and your hip are stacking on top of each other. So if you're dipping way back here, shift yourself forward a little bit. Maybe walk your left heel a little further forward. And if you want to stretch out your IT band, both hands can come over towards the left. Or if you want a little core work, you can start to see if you can get a little bit lighter in your hands. If you lifted your hands, start to set them back down. Walk your hands forward, bend into your front knee. Then lift your left arm, twist. From here, we'll go right back to that modified side plank. So you might kickstand your right knee out a little bit and then sweep your left leg behind you for that modified side plank. So see if you can get a little bit lighter in your right fingers. Maybe you can tent up onto them. And then one more time, we'll find that bent leg gate pose. Reach up and back, reverse. One inhale here. Exhale, windmill your hands all the way down. And we'll be right back in that tabletop position, but let's keep it a 3-leg tabletop position. So your left leg is lifted. Then option, you can stay right here, or you can add some crazy little push-ups. So inhale to lower, lift your leg a little bit higher. Exhale to press up. Inhale to lower. Use your breath, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, hold. Put a little space between your elbows and the sides of your body. Look just out in front of you. Exhale, press up. Set your knee down. One round, cat and cow, drop your belly. Round through your spine. Come back to neutral. Curl your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Hop or step, feet to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, then sink and reach. Second round of chair pose. So maybe this time you can sit a tiny bit lower. Really pull your belly up and in. Take one more breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Start to step your left foot back, then drop your knee, lift your arms, find your low lunge. So your option, you can keep those back toes tucked under, or if it feels better on your knee to untuck them, either way is great. Option for the back bend, if you want it, you can start to cactus and open up through your heart. And inhale to reach your arms back up. Start to bring your hands down towards your hips. Walk them back as you straighten through your front leg. Really keep flexing into your right toes as much as you can, and see if you can stack your left knee and your left hip. So you might have to sneak that front heel forward just a little bit. If you want to get stretchy in your IT band, both hands over towards the right. Or if you want to play with some core work, some balance, start to lift your hands. I would start with your left hand and then see if you can add your right. Squeeze your inner thighs together and embrace any wobbles, any shakes. And if you lifted your hands, start to bring them back down. Walk your hands forward. And we'll find our twist. Open up. And from here, we'll take it into modified side plank. Start to step your right foot long behind you. And open up. Again, we'll find our bent leg gait. Start to use your obliques to rise up. Then inhale, reach up and back, reverse. Exhale takes you all the way down to a three-legged tabletop position. Square off your shoulders. Flex your right toes straight down. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Kind of like a counterbalance. As your chest goes down, your leg goes high. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale, lower. Hold, breathe. Tell yourself you can. Press into your hands. Rise, tabletop position. As many rounds of cat and cow as you need. Then from here, curl your toes under. Start to walk your hands back until you're in a little kneeling seat. You should get a pretty big stretch through the arches of your feet. If it doesn't feel okay, just untuck your toes and find a kneeling position. But you can reach back, make sure your pinky toes are tucked under. And inhale, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, we'll twist just like we did at the start. Maybe you start to find a little shoulder stretch by tucking your right hand into your left hip crease. And start to unwind. Exhale, twist other way. Start to come back to center, reach high, maybe rise up onto your shins. Then we'll find a tabletop position, hands down. Start to pat out your feet, let the blood flow back into the tops of them. And when you're ready, curl your toes back under just to find downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And then open your mouth, full breath out, exhale. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, feet towards your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, and we'll rise all the way up to stand, reach up. From here, open your arms wide towards the right for a wide arm twist, and see if you can bump your hips back in line with one another. Stay here, or start to reach up and back and find a little back bend here, but keep your core pulling up and in. Start to release your twist, reach both arms up and open the other way, twist, wide arms. Stay here, or maybe start to reach up and over. Start to come back to center, reach both arms high, toes touch, hips sink, chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart this time. You want your low back to be as flat as you can get it. Instead of pushing your belly forward, pull it back so that you're engaging through your core. From here, We're gonna start to step our right foot back just like we did before, but see how slowly you can do it. So start to pull your right heel towards your right glute. Then really, 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 really slow. Step all the way back, drop your right heel down to the mat. Lift your arms, you're in warrior one. So you want your hips to be squaring off towards the front. You can even bring your hands to your hips and adjust them so that they are. Then you can inhale to reach your arms overhead. Start to cactus your arms, but keep your elbows in line with your shoulders. Feel that someone's pulling your elbows towards the back of the room. Press your chest forward. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your low back, clasp them together, pull down. Exhale, hinge forward into humble warrior. Your left shoulder tracks to the inside of your left thigh. Relax your face, relax your neck. Trust that your legs will support you. To rise, we'll press down with the feet, unravel the arms, reach up. Then exhale, hands come down to the mat, come onto the ball of your right foot and find a twist. One more breath here, twist a tiny bit deeper. And as you exhale, both hands to the inside of your left foot, walk them all the way around until you find a wide leg forward fold. You want your toes to be pointed just a little bit inward. You have a couple options. You can grab opposite elbows and hang heavy. Maybe take turns bending into each of your knees for a little side lunge, inner thigh stretch. And eventually, bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift up halfway. Then start to walk your hands back around to the front of your mat. This time we'll step your back foot in about halfway. Still plant your heel and point your toes to 45. So right now this is pyramid pose. You want micro bends in both your knees and your hips pointed straight down. Pull your left hip back and your right hip forward just a little bit. And if you're really flexy in your legs, you can start to lift your left toes and flex them towards your face. Or if you want some core work here, you can start to lift your hands, bring them in line with your hips. So imagine that you're folding over a bar, and pull your tailbone back and the crown of your head forward. If you lifted your hands, start to bring them back down. Get lighter in those right toes until they lift up off the mat. We'll be in a supported warrior three. Then maybe you can get lighter in your hands, bring them to your heart, maybe your hands stay down. Take one more breath. Forward fold, right foot meets your left. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. You can take it through a flow. That's exhaling to lower and then inhaling to open up in upward facing cobra. Or if you don't want to flow, you just go straight to downward facing dog. It's always optional. Big breath in. Big breath out. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees. Exhale, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, rise all the way up to stand, reach up. Inhale here, then exhale, twist to the right. Maybe this time you can twist a little bit deeper, square your shoulders even more towards the right side. Maybe you reach up and over and exalt. Start to make your way back to center, both arms reach. Exhale, left. Reach up and over if you want it. And start to come back to center. Reach high, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. And then we'll sink and reach chair pose. So see if you can shift your weight just a little bit into the balls of your feet. So the tendency is to really dump into your heels. Hands are at your heart. Start to pull your left heel towards your glute. And then see how slowly you can step all the way back into your warrior one. Reach your arms overhead. Square off those hips. Really press into the blade edge of your left foot. And exhale, start to cactus your arms. Open through the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come to your low back. Clasp them together, pull down, and open up in the chest. Then exhale, start to hinge forward. Any amount, humble warrior. If you want a deeper shoulder stretch, bring the heels of your hands together. But make sure that you're still breathing. So relax in your face and your jaw. Use your feet, rise. Reach your arms overhead. And exhale, twist, open towards the right. Now you're on the ball of that back foot. Breathe here. Try to lean back a little bit more, but keep your hand in line with your shoulder. And exhale, both hands down to the inside of your right foot. Walk your hands around, wide leg, forward fold. Maybe you take something different this time. Maybe you take the same thing. You could add a shoulder stretch. You could work on coming down towards your forearms. You're prepping for a headstand. Eventually, start to make your way back towards neutral. Inhale, lift up halfway. And walk your hands around to frame your front foot. Step your back foot about halfway up the mat. And they don't have to be aligned. You can put some space laterally between them so that your hips are square. And then see if you can pull your right hip back and your left hip forward, but keep soft bends in your knees. If you want to start to lift the toes, go for it. If you want to start to find the core work, arms go back. And if you wanted more movement here, you could even start to add like a tiny lift and a tiny lower. If you lifted your hands, start to bring them back down. Walk them forward a couple inches so that your back leg can lift. You find warrior three. Lots of love into that hamstring, both hamstrings. Flex your left toes straight down. Take one more breath. Forward fold. Sway a little side to side. And inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. You can take it through a flow or you can skip. And find downward facing dog. When you find down dog, again, we'll drop our knees and start to walk your hands in. And find that little kneeling position that we found before, where we like stretch out our feet. And this time we will rise up onto our shins. We'll start to find a little half camel situation, which is a big heart opener. I think important right now to counter all of the hunching forward that we're doing. It'll be a big opening. So inhale to lift your arms. And as you exhale, twist towards the right. And again, you can stay here. That's great. Or you can start to bring your hand towards your heel and reach up and over with your left arm. And pull your belly up and in. And we'll start to swoop forward, send your hips back until your front arm, your right arm, reaches up and back. And we'll take that a couple times. So as you inhale here, then you exhale, hips back, chest forward, swoop it around. And then maybe you start to make it a little bigger so that you're starting to square your shoulders towards the sky as you get to the top. But you're always following your own breath. If you do get to the point where you're squaring off your chest towards the sky and that feels okay, you can, if you want, take it to full camel where your hands will come to your heels and your chest will press up towards the sky. It's just an option. The half camel is just as good and the same benefits. Then we'll gently start to release, even out your sides if you're still moving side to side. And we'll find child's pose. Untuck your toes, sink your hips back. You can bring your palms down by your sides. Really round, round, round through the upper back. Take some big breaths into the back body. You can stay here for as long as you need. When you're ready, we'll come to tabletop just to take a few spinal waves, kind of rinse out. Cat pose will feel really nice. Maybe you find some circles in your hips. Just ask your body what it needs, what would feel nice, and then allow it to do that. And eventually, we'll curl your toes, lift your hips. Last down dog. Rise up onto your toes, take tiny little steps all the way to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Then from here, bring your big toe mounds to touch. Then rise up onto the balls of your feet and sink your glutes down to hover over your heels for toe stand. Then you can leave your hands down, or option for one more twist and maybe a little playtime if you're craving it. But lift your arms overhead and just start to twist towards the right. You can bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. And then if you want to play with side crow, we've done a lot of twists and it's fun, so I'm going to give you the option. But both your hands will start to come down in your twist. And you'll want to line up your front pinky with your pinky toe. And then you're going to bend your elbows, lift your hips a little bit so you can set your hips down on your triceps. Look forward and then see if you can shift forward, maybe lift your toes. It's just for fun, and again, totally optional. You don't have to try it. When you're ready, I'll start to unwind our twist back to toe stand. Just one time we'll forward fold. You can kind of stretch out, maybe take turns bending your knees. And bring your toes back to touch. Maybe you do this one without using your hands on the mat, bring them to your heart. Rise up onto the balls of your feet and sink your hips down for toe stand. Nice. And then inhale, reach your arms. If you want this twist, you don't have to take it. Start to twist over towards the left side. And you can stay right where you are, or if you want side crow, you can play with that. Both hands will come all the way down. Line up your pinkies with your pinky toes. Make sure your hands are about shoulder width distance apart, and then see if you can set your hips down on your triceps and lift your feet. Look out in front of you. And if you fall, it's okay. It's just for fun. Then eventually, when you're done playing, start to come back to your toe stand, unwind your twist, and this time, just sit down. We'll bring soles of your feet to touch, butterfly legs. But take your feet a little further forward than you normally would, so your legs are in kind of like a diamond position. And then, without actually moving your heels, isometrically pull them back towards your hips, and you should start to feel a little resistance. And if you need it, imagine that your pelvis is a bowl, and you're starting to tip forward and pour water out of that bowl, and you should really start to feel it if you're finding that pelvic tilt in the outsides of your legs as well as in the insides. So see if you can make this more of an active pose, really pressing your feet together, pulling your heels back towards your body, and also tilting forward in your pelvis. And you probably will find that you don't need to fold very far to feel it. I really feel it right now. And slowly start to rise back up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees, close them like a book. And then nice and slow, we'll make our way all the way down onto your back. If you want a little more core work, you can do it really slowly, but You could just roll on down either way. Then when you get there, we'll find happy baby. Bring your hands to the outsides of your feet. You can rock a little side to side, or you can stay in stillness. Eventually start to release your grip. Send your legs long on the mat. Then pull the right leg up. Just find a little hamstring stretch. You can grab behind the hamstring. You can roll out your ankle in both directions. If this feels too intense, bend your left knee. Put the sole of your foot down on the ground. If you bend the left knee, send it long again. Pull your right knee into your chest, give it a squeeze, and start to roll over onto the left side to find supine twist. Take your gaze towards the right. Relax through your shoulders. Start to make your way back to center. Send your right leg long. Pull your left knee in. Find that hamstring stretch. You can roll out your ankle. Again, option to bend the right knee. Put your sole of the foot on the ground. Start to pull your left knee into your chest. Roll over. Find your twist. So allow yourself to really melt into the mat. Start to make your way back to center. And find your way towards a final resting position that calls to you. Maybe legs straight out, maybe knees bent, maybe on your belly. And then allow yourself to take one more full breath in. One more full breath out. And then allow yourself a few moments to rest. In these final moments of rest, scan your body one more time. And just notice, become aware, listen. Maybe you find that as you prepare to leave your practice, you've created a little more space, a little more openness, a little release, and feel grateful for that. can stay in Shavasana as long as you need. When you're ready, start to make your way towards a seated position, any seat that feels nice. When you arrive, bring your hands to your heart and start to rub your palms together to like create some heat. And once you've created some heat, bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Send yourself some real, genuine love. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So nice and stretchy.
Paige.
Thank you.
Of course, we'll do it again. I think we can get a regular thing.
Next Wednesday?
Yep, next Wednesday, 11 o'clock.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Have a great day, you guys.
You too.
Bye.